is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path.
First reading. A reading from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 2, and chapter 2, verses 21 to 23. Vanity of vanities, says Qoheleth. Vanity of vanities. All things are vanity. Here is one who has labored with wisdom and knowledge and skill, and yet to another who has not labored over it. He must leave property. This also is vanity and a great misfortune. For what profit comes to man from all the toil and anxiety of heart, with which he has labored under the sun? All his days sorrow and grief are his occupation. Even at night his mind is not at rest. This also is vanity. The word of the Lord.
Second reading. A reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Colossians, chapter 3, verses 1 to 5 and 9 to 11. Brothers and sisters, if you were raised with Christ, seek what is above, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Think of what is above, not of what is on earth. For you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. When Christ your life appears, then you too will appear with him in glory. Put to death then the parts of you that are earthly: immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, and the greed that is adultery. Stop lying to one another, since you have taken off the old self with its practices, and have put on the new self, which is being renewed for knowledge, in the image of its Creator. Here there is not Greek and Jew, circumcisions and uncircumcisions, barbarian, Scythian, slave, free, but Christ is all and in all. This is the word of the Lord.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 12, verses 13 to 21. Someone in the crowd said to Jesus, "Teacher, tell my brother to share the inheritance with me." He replied to him, "Friend, who appointed me as your judge and arbitrator?" Then he said to the crowd, "Take care to guard against all greed. For though one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions." Then he told them a parable. There was a rich man whose land produced a bountiful harvest. He asked himself, "What shall I do? For I do not have space to store my harvest." And he said, "This is what I shall do. I shall tear down my barns and build larger ones. There I shall store all my grain and other goods. And I shall say to myself, Now as for you, you have so many good things stored up for many years. Rest, eat, drink, be merry." But God said to him, "You fool, this night your life will be demanded of you, and the things you have prepared, to whom will they belong? Thus will it be for all who store up treasure for themselves, but are not rich in what matters to God." The word of the Lord.
All of us in our lifetime would always gamble or would always win to attain possessions, to attain wealth, to attain ranks in our life. Because of what? Because today this society has given us this very notion that the more you have possessions, the more you have wealth, you will gain the popularity, you will gain the good name, you will gain the appreciation, and you will gain the leading roles, or you will gain the applaud, or rather you would gain good seats, high seats for your life. And today Jesus, in the parable of foolish rich man, rather tells us these possessions, this wealth is not what matters in this life. When a person confronts Jesus, asking him to instruct his brother to share the inheritance or the wealth he has, Jesus would rather ask him another question: who would appoint me? Who did appoint me as your judge or your attorney? It is not the work of the Lord to be a judge in sharing or in dividing the wealth of the world, but it is a work of the Lord to give you and me the inheritance or the share of the kingdom of the Lord, not of this world. And that is why Jesus very beautiful summons up. He says, for even though you have many possessions, it is not that which gives you life. You may have many possessions, but it is not that gives you life. Mark the words of Jesus Christ, my dear friends. For the things that we are craving for, the things that we are running behind, are not the things that will give you and me the life. And that is why Jesus recites and coming up with the parable of the foolish rich man. He knew that he had a good harvest, and he, foreseeing the future, he planned out that he thinking of himself that I would enjoy my life, I would rest, eat and have merry in my life without any disturbance, without any worry. But it was the Lord who has the right of our life, The possessions do not have the right of our life. The wealth does not have right of our life. The greed does not have the right of our life. It is the Lord who has the right of our life, my dear friends. Therefore, for which world are we collecting the possessions? To which world are we gaining or craving the wealth? That matters. If we are craving the wealth for this world, then you will lose your life. If you are craving for the world after next, then surely the Lord will reward you.